He is not offering any opinion. Jesus never offered opinion. He never guessed. He knew and he knows. So this is Vodka Stream 101 and this is Leanto Muhammad. I'm your host, and today we are continuing to chapter 9 into the pursuit of God, and we're talking about meekness and rest today. And so if you did not watch any previous of these videos, so you can just skip back into the other chapter and see which one you enjoy or which one you like. If this video have given you value in such a way, just give us a like and subscribe to our channel. So thank you, and we'll continue in terms of much more of this program. So thank you. Today we're going to talk about meekness and rest. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Matthew 5:5. In the world of men, we find nothing approaching the virtue of which Jesus spoke of in his opening word in the famous Sermon of the Mount. Instead of poverty of spirit, we find the rankest kind of pride. Instead of mourners, we find pleasure seekers. Instead of meekness, we find arrogance. Instead of hunger after righteousness, we find men saying, I am rich and increasing with goods, and I have no need of nothing. Instead of mercy, we find cruelty. Instead of a poor heart, we find a corrupt imagination. Instead of peacemaker, we find men that are resentful and quarrelsome. Instead of rejoicing in instrument, we find men that are fighting, back with every weapon that they can command. For this kind of moral stuff, society is compressed. Culture and education refine these things slightly, but leave them basically untouched. The whole world of literature has been created to justify this kind of life as the only norm alone. And this is the more to be wondered at, seeing that these are the evils which make life the bitter struggle it is for all of us. All our heartaches and a great many of our psychological ill spring directly out of our sin. Pride, arrogant, resentful, evil imagination, malice, greed. These are the source of more human pain than all the disease has ever inflicted mortal flesh. Into a world like this, the sound of Jesus' words comes wonderful and strange, and a visitation from above. It is well that he speak, for no one could have done it as well. And it is good that we listen his words. His words are the essential of truth. His words are not as Solomon words, where the sum of sounding wisdom or the result of a keen observation. He spoke of the fullness of the Godhead, and his words are very true itself. He is the only one who could say blessed with a complete authority, for he is the blessed one, comes from the world above to confer the blessedness upon mankind. And his word was supported by deeds mightier than any performer on this earth by any other man. It is wisdom for us to listen, as was often so with Jesus. He used his word meek in a brief, crypt sentence, and not till sometime later did he go on to explain it. In the same book of Matthew, he tells us more about it and apply it to our lives. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give thee rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lonely in heart, and ye shall find rest. And find rest unto your soul, for my yoke is easy and my burdens are light. The burden bore by mankind is heavy and a crushing thing. The words of Jesus use, meaning a load carried or toil borne to a point of exhaustion. Rest is simply from that burden. It is not something we do, it is what comes to us when we are seized to do. His own meekness, that is rest. Let us examine our burden. It is altogether an interior one. It attacks the heart and the mind and reaches the body from within. First, there is the burden of pride. The labor of self-love is a heavy one indeed. Think for yourself whether much of your sorrow has not yet arisen from someone speaking slightly of you. As long as you set yourself up as a little god to which you must be loyal, there will be those who will delight to offer remarks to your idols. How then can you hope to have inward peace? The heart fears effect to protect itself from every slight to shield its touching honor from a bad opinion of a friend and an enemy, will never let the mind have rest. Continue this fight throughout the year. The burden will become intolerable. Jesus called us in his rest. The meekness in his methods. The meek man cares not at all who is greater than he, for he has long ago decided for the esteem of the world is not worth the effort. He developed toward himself a kind of sense of honor and learns to say, oh, so you have been overlooked. They have placed someone else before you. They have whispered that you are pretty small stuff after all. And now you feel hurt because the world is saying about you the very thing you have been saying about yourself. Only yesterday you were telling God that you are nothing, a mere worm of a dust. Where is your consistency? Come on, humble yourself and cease to care about what men think. The meek man is not a human mouse afflicted with a sense of his own inferiority. Rather, he may be in his moral life as bold as a lion, as strong as Samson, but he has stopped being fool about himself. He has accepted God's esteem for his own life. He knows he is weak and helpless, as God has declared to him. But paradoxically, he knows at the same time he is more important to God in himself, nothing in God, and everything inside. Everything, that is his motto. He knows that the world would never see him as God sees him, and he has stopped caring. He rests perfectly content to allow God to place his own values. He will be patient to wait for the day when everything will get price tag and the real world will come into its own. The righteous shall shine forth in the kingdom for their Father. He is willing to wait for that day. In the meantime, he will have attended a place of the soul rest. As he walks on, he will be happy for God to defend for him. The old struggle is to defend himself is over. He has found the place which meekness brings. Then also he will get deliverance from the burden of pretense. By this I mean not hypocrisy, but the common desire to put the best foot forward and hide from the world our real inward poverty. For sin has played many evil tricks upon us, and one has been infused into us as a false sense of shame. There is hardly a man or a woman who dares to be just what he or she is without doctrine up an impression. The fear of being found out murmuring like a rodent within the hearts. The man of culture is haunted by the fear that someday he will meet a person or meet a man that who is more cultured than him. The learned man is feared that he's gonna meet somebody who is more learned than him. The rich man sweat some days that his house, his clothes, his car, or the things, the material things that he have, or would look more cheap when he meets some other richer person than him. So-called society run on a motivation not higher than this, and the poorer class on their level are a little better. Another source of burden is artificial. I am sure that most people live in a secret fear that someday they will be careless. An enemy or a friend will be able to peep into their empty souls, so they are never relaxed. Bright people are tense and alarmed by they might say something stupid or say a word out of place. Travel person or person who travels a lot, he is afraid that he might meet somebody, some Marco Polo friend or some Marco Polo that who is traveling more than him, or is able to describe some remote place that he has never even went to. This unnatural condition is a part of our sad heritage of sin, but in our days it is aggressive by our whole way of life. Advertising is a large base upon our habit of pretense. Courses are offered in this or that field of human learning frankly appear to the victim desire to shine at a party. Books are sold, clothes and cosmetics are peddled by plain continue upon the desire to appear what they are not. Artificiality is one course that will drop away when we kneel at the feet of Jesus and surrender ourselves to his meekness. Then we will care less of what people think, but care what God thinks of us. Then what we are willing to be everything. The heart of the world is broken under load of pride and pretense. There is no release from our burden apart from meekness of Christ. Good and keen reason may help slightly, but so strong is this vice that if we push it down one place, it will come up somewhere else. To men and women everywhere, Jesus said, "Come unto me and I will give you rest." The rest he offers is the rest of meekness, the blessed relief which comes when we accept ourselves from what we are and cease to pretend. It will take some courage at first, but the needed grace will come as we learn that we are shining this new and easy yoke with this strong Son of God himself. He calls, "It is my yoke," and he walks at the one end while we walk at the other end. This is a prayer of the heart. Lord, make me childlike and deliver me from the urge to complain with another for the place or prestige or position, as that I would be simple and artless as a little child. Deliver me from the pose and the pretense. Forgive me for thinking of myself. Help me to forget myself and find the true peace in beholding thee, that thou mayest answer this prayer. I humble myself before thee. Lay upon me an easy yoke of self-forgetfulness, that thou it may find it rest. Amen. And thank you for watching us such a long time to the end, and we hope that you can continue with us into chapter 10, and that chapter 10 will be the finishing up of everything. And we hope and we see you next time, and thank you for watching us.